thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This is my city, yeah, this is my team. If you talking and talking me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm a champion. This is my team. If you talking and talking me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm a champion.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Yokley with you here on YSN Live. It is the 31st of January, 2025, the last day. By God, we made it. It's been a long year, but we've made it through, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great show for you today. Kind of a Manning cast type show for you because the legendary Chris Sigler out there in Camel right now is Camel having a matinee day out there with Louisville. I've been asked 18 times already if these kids go to school. And yes, they do. But they are also treated to wonderful events like this one. And I really like this. We're going to have Ty Bartell on to talk to us about his sleeper picks for girls and boys basketball as we head down the stretch. But we're also going to have the Manning cast, the Yokley cast, the Bartell cast, the Your cast, so to speak, here as we check out on this Friday, and we'll check in with Chris Sigler. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we give you the traveling man, the guy that always makes it an A game. Ladies and gentlemen, Ty Bartell. TB, what's up, buddy?
Not much, brother. Another day in basketball season. We're gearing up. I mean, tournament draws literally coming up this weekend, brother. We're days away from it now, and we're getting into tournament time. It's right here, right on the doorstep.
We got a ton of reaction from your power rankings, so to speak, the other day, and so much so that we wanted to dive into maybe some of the sleeper teams that we weren't able to connect with. So walk me through, if you would, take controls. Walk me through your sleeper picks. Let's start with the ladies, if you would.
Yeah. So when we talk about some of these picks too, you want me to pull the screen up here? Let me get up right for it. These were our top 5 picks too for our districts. But now when we go into the ladies too, my number 5 pick for this too, and in no particular way I'm looking at this. I'm looking at stuff like strength of schedule. I'm looking at stuff of, are these teams playing up divisions too? Where are they at too, as far as overall rankings in their division and stuff like that. Number 5 on my list is the Edgewood Warriors. And actually, they're coming in with a 13-3 record, but they're only ranked 46th in Division 4. This is a team that just beat South Range not too long ago, too. And I love what Coach Randy Venzel has done over there with the Warriors. It's a team, too, that despite their 13-3 record, they've won 13 of their last 14 games, too. So they've dropped their first 2 games of the season. They've been on a rather hot streak, and that one loss came against the Madison Blue Streaks, which is always a really good and solid basketball program. I know we don't have our Archduke of Ashtabula here right now, Sam Torres, too, to talk a little bit more about it. But I know you've gotten a chance to see Edgewood a little bit, DJ, and I also know that you've gotten a chance to see and talk with Randy Venzel, too, and he's a big fan of what we do here with YSN, but he's also a really good coach over there with the girls basketball team.
Dude, he's a legend. And you talk about these teams that you're highlighting right now. They're incredible, Ty. And, they could have been. And I think that's one of the bigger things. They could have been in your top 5, but we have so much good basketball going on around this area. And for you to be able to highlight it, to put a spotlight on each of these teams, I think that's what's exciting. And these teams live for that stuff. Who else do you have on your list?
Yeah, going down number 4 on this one, I got the Springfield Tigers, 12-7 on the season. They're currently ranked 49th in Division 6. And my reason for ranking them on as a sleeper pick is just because of the Matese factor. Ever since Coach John Matese has taken over for that program, he has inspired new life into that girls basketball program. They find newfound success, it feels like, each and every season. And every year you seem to doubt this Tigers team. They find a way to just to shut up the haters, if you will. And when I look at this team, too, and look at the teams that they've played outside of the conference, too, it's a gauntlet, too. And you're talking about losses that they have, close losses to, like, Walsh Jesuit, close losses to, I know it's a Division 17, but that Warren JFK Eagles team, like, these are quality teams they're playing, too. I think they're going to be well prepared going into tournament time. And I think if you're sleeping on the Tigers, it's upset city going into the tournament.
Don't you always feel like Springfield's that team that's not on the outside looking in? That's not what I'm trying to say. They're always like sleeper capability. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter the sport. You can never count Springfield out in anything they do.
And you look at their record, and I think it's easy to do that too with a record of 12-7. It's not the pretty record like we've seen this Tigers team produce, but they're still skillful, man. And Jamaica Brungard is still the real deal in the post too. And they got some great players around her. Mariana Toscano can shoot it from the arc. I mean, it's still a quality Tigers team that, I mean, they're going to be well trained going into the tournament.
Agreed. I mean, anytime you got Springfield and a Brungard, you got a hope and a prayer. Who else you got, TB?
We go down to our number 3 pick on this one. I got the Beaver Bobcats, and currently 23rd ranked in the Class 4A out in the PA brackets too. 14-4 on the season. And my reason is Baker brings buckets. And I don't know if you've heard of this young lady, Ansley Baker, DJ, but this young lady, you want to talk about an MVP candidate. I know Addison Rhodes is going to get a lot of love, and she's probably our leading one, but this young lady, 21.9 points per game a season. On the season, 7 rebounds a game. She's shooting 49% from the field. Some incredible stuff from a sophomore over there in Beaver County, or in Beaver Country over there in Pennsylvania. She's impressive. I've gotten a chance to see her play, and I think with her, and you also pair her with Ava Wright out there, 12.5 points per game. I think the Beaver Bobcats are going to surprise some people too, and I think a 23rd rank too in the Class 4A might be a little bit low considering what the talent this Beaver team has. Considering going into the playoffs.
Yeah, when you're talking about Beaver, the Keystone Queens is essentially what you're talking about, my friend. Well done. Who you got at number 2?
Number 2, we go into another group of Tigers, and it's a 7-10 Howland Tigers team. They're ranked 44th in Division 3. But my reasoning for ranking the Tigers this high too is because there's going to be no surprises for Howland. When you look at Howland, out of the 43 teams that are ranked above Howland in Division 3, only 6 of them had a tougher schedule than the Howland Tigers. Matter of fact, Howland has a tougher schedule than number 1 Marietta and number 2 Akron St. Vincent St. Mary, currently ranked in Division 3. So my reason for the Tigers too, they've been there last year. We've seen them consistently get to that district level and beyond too. It's a team in the Howland Tigers too that, because they have that experience and because they have that seasoning throughout the season of playing these top level teams, your Hobans, your St. V's, your St. Joe's Academies, like this is a Tigers team that there's nothing that they're going to be surprised about by the time they hit the playoffs. They're going to have seen it all, and they're going to know at least what they're going to need to do to react to it all. Will they execute? That's going to remain to be seen.
All right, so that leaves one team. Who is the big unveiling for numero uno for the sleepers?
It's my pick here is for the Poland Bulldogs, currently ranked 10-8, 71st in Division 5 right now, currently ranked. My reason, this is a close-knit community that loves to feed off of doubt. Anytime you're doubting the Poland Bulldogs and Coach Nick Blanche, they always find a way to prove you wrong. And this is a Bulldogs team that, yes, they're not having their dominating seasons in the NE8 like they have in years past. Now, is that a knock on Poland, or is that a compliment to the NE8? I think it's the latter in that one. But when we talk about this Bulldogs team going in 10-8, a near 500 record, one of their lower records we've seen in some years, it's one of those cases where I think the matchups are going to be favorable for the Bulldogs, especially going into a 7-division bracket instead of 4, which they were playing in 4 divisions before, and they were still finding success getting to that district level. I think with it being an expanded one, with them being in D5, and with them having some doubters, I think the Bulldogs are definitely going to feast off of that.
Dude, in a win last night, 2 dogs, 1 bone was the title of the story last night as they beat Lakeview. I'll tell you what, man, they just keep on keeping on. And you look at Poland, what they've been able to do in seasons past. Obviously, they've been the royalty on YSN on the hardwood. Nick's still doing his thing out there. And obviously, he's going to credit the girls and the program and the parents and the community. But what a great leader Nick has been in that program, and what he's been able to do, and I should say Coach Blanche, I'm sorry. What he's been able to do across the board, Ty. I mean, to have them be the number 1 sleeper, probably not where they're used to, but I'm sure a feather in the cap nonetheless.
Yeah, and I think it's a compliment to them too. I think that's where they want to be flying. They don't get to fly under the radar a whole ton, and I think Poland kind of flying under the radar in this year's tournament. I think it's going to prove to have some upsets.
All right, those are your sleepers for the girls. We're gonna take a break from that for a little bit. We'll come back because right now, Ty, you and I get to have the Manning cast, so to speak, and we have that nice. Here we go. There it is, right there.
Yeah,
we got Chris Sigler that's at the game right now, doing a great job for us, and we're very appreciative of Siggy being out there. The girls had a 10 had a 10 o'clock game. It was Louisville ended up winning 39-28, I think was your final score.
And, Coach Modelski is just a legend in the game too. I love what she consistently does with Louisville. And one of my biggest compliments to her too, DJ, is that no matter what talent she has to it, you can't control the talent that you have coming into the school, but she gets the best consistently out of her girls each and every year. And every year they're playing their best basketball by the beginning of February. And that's my biggest compliment with Coach Modelski. She absolutely gets the best out of her girls.
Yeah. Can you hear the game right now or no?
No, it's silent currently.
All right.
Devils on top.
There we go. Right. Yeah, we're good.
It's weird because I can hear it in the back for mine because it's on the computer, but I didn't know if you could hear it or not. It was while you were going through your sleeper picks, I could hear Sigler in my ears, and it was driving me nuts because I was trying to listen to you, but I'm trying to listen to him at the same time.
That defense to offense of the Red Devils, man. I coined them the Rockin' Red Devils a few years ago when they had Kevin Moore and such. And Nick Canarino has just kept that pace up with that Camel team, man. It's been so fun to watch them. High flying, explosive too, and they could shoot the lights out from distance.
Well, there's an ad for Joe Dickey, so we'll let that one. We'll let him run. I was trying to do the old red zone thing where we could go from one to the next. See if I can do it. See if I can play director here while we're
we always love our friends over at Joe Dickey.
There we go. See, we can do it. So I mean, when you look at a game like this. Dang it, Sigler.
He's just bad at timing.
Come on, man. If you don't want our jibber jabber on this, you can always go to ysnlive.com/live and click on the game yourself and check it out. But right now it's the Yourcast, I guess, is what we'll stick with. Patent pending.
No, this Red Devils team is so high scoring this year too, and they're just so fun to watch. And you look at this team too. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to give teams in their division love your Moonies and such of the teams, and that's fair. But this Red Devils team, they found a way to consistently be at the top of their conference each and every year, and that's a credit to Coach Canarino and just the whole athletic department and the love they've poured into these basketball teams.
I'll tell you what, Vinny Sullivan has really stepped up. You saw him just miss a three there. That's Bruce Brenner kicking it back out to Sullivan. You know, and Louisville has really become an outside shooting team. I mean, you got Modelski who can do anything he wants in the paint. He owns it like Sherwin-Williams in most games. But, you know, this is a testament to Camel, and they're going to get the N1 there. Oh, they're going to get a travel.
Took a step too many.
How pretty is that court?
Oh, it's a great court. It's a gorgeous court too. I love the way it's kind of set up too, where you have it. The seating is a little bit raised above, so you have all the sound coming over top of you there. And Jared Cologne making a nice feed there before the traveling violation was called. He's an underrated point guard, man. He can dish the rock a little bit too, and with a team that can shoot the lights out like Campbell too, he does rack up those assists on some nights.
I'll tell you what, man. I've heard it a little bit across the atmosphere here at YSN all day. Some people love these day games. Some people despise them for some reason. I'm in the camp of I love them. I wish we had more of these. I wish we had one of these every day.
It is very cool too to kind of start your day as like the early game. It's almost kind of like what you see big noon kickoff, right? Like that's always like the thing you get excited for, the first game of the day. I've seen other teams too. The NAC primarily has been doing this a lot. I saw like Wyndham and Badger did a case of this. I think Pymatuning Valley did one with I think it might have been Badger as well too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the NAC conference, I've noticed they've been doing these kind of boys girls early morning 10 a.m. 12 p.m. Double headers too, and I like them too to kind of give the students involved too. And
we have one in Lisbon in Liberty that'll be on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, which is a special day for many reasons. I'll have that game at noon, so unfortunately we won't have a Yourcast. Unless you want to do a Yourcast, you guys can do it across the you and Anthony. Hopefully Anthony's back. And you guys can pull something like this, but it'll be just a girls' game at noon. I shouldn't say just a girls' game; it'll be girls-specific game at noon, and it'll only be one game, is what I meant by that. For all of you haters out there, don't try to cancel us. But yeah, I mean, I love these games because, I mean, look at the stands. You're inviting your students who may never see these games because of one thing or another. I mean, kids are busy nowadays. So to be able to have these games and to have it be a treat in the middle of a school day and, really reward some of the players or some of the students who've kept their grades up and attendance up and things of that nature, to be able to kick back on a Friday and watch some hoops with their teammates. I think this is really cool.
I like it too, and I wouldn't even mind seeing if every team adopted one game like this throughout the course of the season. It doesn't need to be a all the time thing for specific teams, even if they got that one game where it's like that too. So, similar to what you see in baseball season, where everyone wants that one night game at least. They want to play under the lights at least one time during baseball season, and I feel like it's similar to that too. I feel like it's a one of those cases where we see it all the time too. I mean, look at March Madness and all the tip off times throughout the day. There's something about playing basketball, I feel like, early morning.
Back-to-back threes, dude.
He's unbelievable, man. He doesn't just pass too. Jared Cologne can fire from distance. Him and Sway, that duo of guards, man, they could splash.
Go Sullivan.
Sullivan went on the inside. I thought they were gonna sling it to him on the outside and let him pull it.
Another one.
Sway.
Sullivan with the board and quickly ahead.
They love the three ball, man, and they are one of those live and die by the three type teams. But they've really started working too on getting their inside game working as well, and I think that's going to make Camel a more complete team, especially heading into tournaments. And that's what they're going to need, is someone from the blocks to the elbows that can consistently get you a bucket if you need it.
Battle for the river is what this has been dubbed.
Oh, I mean, these two teams right across the bridge. I mean, right across that bridge into Soup City, and they're right down the road from each other.
Sway just banged a three home, dude, outside the gray paint.
I like the color scheme for their mid-range in the paint, too. It's just a clean look all the way around.
Dude, they just transition so fast. Cologne is quicker than a hiccup, dude.
He'll head to the line for a pair of free throws.
Coach Canarino, too, doing a great job with this team, this program. And it feels like since that team that won that district championship that had your Xavier Leonard, your Kevin Moores on it, your Scavos Goros, since he won that district championship team with them, they've been right at that level, too. They've been at the top of the conference, near the top of the conference, year in and year out. He's done a great job over there with them. And I mean, he's been there for a good handful of years now, and they're finally starting to see that consistency coming around. There's a love for basketball in Camel, genuinely.
Sure. And then you look at the other side and you got Tony Matizzi, who, I mean, his resume speaks for itself.
That dude, man. I mean, that dude is a living legend. He had the McDonald girls basketball team at the state level just a few years ago. So, yeah, his resume definitely speaks for itself. Anytime you got a Matizzi as your coach, I think you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Oh, boy.
Right away, the Devils steal it back.
Louisville can't get a shot off that trip down.
Two more.
Sway
Sway Rodriguez, man.
No,
Rodriguez
no.
pulls it right back in the half
He's
court.
worked
Rockets
so much on his game, and for as good as he was last year too, he has
pressure
leveled up
mindset is where
completely
this
as a
game right now is
defender,
turnover
as an
market.
inside threat too. He could drive the ball to the hole, not
36
just
to go
a
in the
3-point
first.
shooter.
19-11
and that's what we're
Camel.
seeing more and more. We talked about it, with Pat Carton
Malone
yesterday.
pulls the trigger. 3 more.
Oh my god,
Oh my goodness.
that was a freaking
That's
volleyball
NBA
shot.
territory. Yeah, he just hit.
Oh,
he
here we
banged
go.
in.
We're just having a
the answers
3-point
on the other
contest
end.
now, dude.
They're just blowing it up.
Vinny Sullivan.
Oh,
Oh,
my
here we go.
goodness.
3 more.
That's
For
unreal.
Rodriguez.
Come
That's
on.
unreal.
Just let him rip. The coaches have to
That's
be
his
sitting
spot. Like someone's got to get to that spot. Someone's got to.
Gio from the
Someone's got to
corner,
start
no good.
face
Rebound
guarding
knocked
him from
around.
beyond the
Brenner comes
perimeter.
down with it.
You can't let him have that much space. I know he's standing 5 feet beyond the arc, but
That
you
3-point
can't let
try,
him have
no
that
good from
space.
the corner. Sway Rodriguez comes
He's
away with
feeling it right now.
He's
He's going to
gone
keep
on the board
torching
now for
you.
Louisville.
They're going to look to get it to him. There he
At the
is. He's
rim.
in that
going to the
spot.
line for 2.
He went to that same spot again, too. He was ready for it.
Dude, this is so much fun. I don't know how
That's gonna
more
be
schools
Yar's
don't want to
first
do
foul,
this.
Team's third. And before you could blink, this lead has gotten to 11 for the Devils.
This was a 2-point lead at one point. I mean, just moments ago, you blinked your eyes. And it was
like Siggy said, before you could blink, it's an 11-point lead, but that defines Red Devil offense this year, man. And it's because defense to offense, like we've said, and you said it, I think, earlier too, DJ. They are an elite transition scoring team. They can put it up in transition.
Davis returns.
If you're Louisville, though, you can't be crashing the glass like that. You gotta have some guys cheating in the backcourt because you got to try to limit that. I know you're down. I know you're gonna want those offensive boards, those second chance looks too, but on every miss, Camel can absolutely turn it up into the next level. Feels like Louisville here. Yeah, they're just gonna have to.
they got to slow
Try
it
to
down.
settle
This-
things down. They need to.
Good. Rebound put back.
Those are the buckets they need. They need those ones underneath. Start building some confidence. You're only down 10. It's the first quarter of play. I mean, there's still plenty of ball game left here.
And Ty, that's Camel's game. Is they want to get you so out of your game and playing theirs. That fast, high octane off. Oh my gosh!
Knocks that shot out of bounds.
That was swatted freaking to. Where would you? I don't even know. I had one. I lost it.
Rodriguez back on the floor.
Honestly, though, if you look at this Red Devils team, you gotta really just look at the fact that the way that they can score on you. I don't know, like I said, you have to stop them in transition, but they've really developed that inside shot too as the course of the season has gone on, and they're not just a 3-point shooting team as people have doubled.
3-on-1 here.
No good.
No, you can't. You got 3-on-1. You have to take an open shot. You can't force a shot.
Good hustle along the baseline.
And that's what I was trying to allude to earlier before I lost my train of thought is Camel is so good at getting you to play to their speed. And that is up-tempo, high octane, up and down the floor, trying to play street ball a lot of times. Just because look at all the playmakers they have. They don't necessarily need plays. They can chuck it up from anywhere. And it's got a shot. Perfect example.
There's Lambert inside, and he'll go to the
But if you're Louisville, you've got to be able to control the boards, offense and defense. And right there, you saw 3 Rockets just standing around watching the basketball go into the hands of the Red Devils.
You got to be if you're crashing, you got to be crashing 3 and cheating 2 in the backcourt on defense if you're Louisville right now because you got to limit this transition game. Otherwise, because Camel acts even on makes too. They're going to push that pace, man. They're going to work it quick down to the half court. They don't play a lot of slow tempo offense. So you got to be ready to get back on defense and slow them down because every bucket you score on the Louisville side, they're looking to match it immediately on the Camel side.
So I'm big on body language. Look at Tony Mattizi up there with his arms crossed, very defensive position from that standpoint. You can tell he's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? He's nervous from a standpoint of he's not getting what he wants out of his guys right now, and they're playing Camel's game.
That was a good shot. That was a good take too. Those are the shots you want to take. You just want the law of averages to fall.
This is what you want if you're
I love the
Louisville.
work on defense though, and that's what you want to see too. And I'm sure that's what Coach Matizzi's preaching too. Is you can't be you can't be lazy on defense. You got to be getting on them from the dribble because they want to get to the other side quick. You got to slow them down. Make them take some dribbles. Make them work to get it across the timeline.
No, that's huge. That's Louisville is they've been paced, and I saw them the other night. I've seen them a lot lately. They were incredible against Sebring, which I think Sebring is a work in progress. But then they play Mineral Ridge, and they had the athleticism. They had a good matchup against Ridge. They just let it get away in the second half. And I think if you're letting it get away in the first half right now, I don't think things are going to get much better for you if you're Louisville against Camel, because Camel's not going to let up. They're not going to stop shooting just because they're up 20 points. Like, they're just going to keep going because they understand that as fast as they got that lead, it can be taken away. So, Louisville, again, and talking to Tony Matizzi at the beginning of the year, he's like, we've got guys that are just going to find their identity. We've got, football players, and we got guys that, small school stuff you got to do, like we've talked about before. But games like this, I mean, you look at kind of the way things are lining up for them. They're down 10 heading into the second quarter. What do you do? I mean, do you keep letting them sling it, or do you try to control it, slow things down a little bit, Ty? Oh, they're going full tilt.
Yeah, I agree with that attack too. I would start attacking the rim. I'd start getting Camel in kind of foul trouble too, because I feel like if you can get them into foul trouble, you limit some of the time some of these players can play too. You also kind of limit what Camel likes to do, and that is pressure you on ball. They want to create steals. They want to create turnovers because they want to get into that transition game. I feel like if you could take it into the teeth of Camel's defense, draw some fouls right now, being down 10, you also are stopping the clock and getting some free looks at the apple, right? You're able to chip away some points. I think that's kind of the play right here for Louisville, is if they can continue attacking too, because you only need 5 fouls to go to the line in any given quarter now.
They just called travel on Medelsky? Interesting.
I have heard. I feel like it's every year we hear an uptick of complaints on the officiating side from fans.
No good.
Those are the ones you gotta have. You gotta have those ones. Those are must-have buckets. Josue Rodriguez too. Check out some of these stats: 25 points per game, just under 7 rebounds, over 3 assists, 2.5 steals per game. Like, crazy numbers across the board for him too. And Jared Cologne, these numbers impress me too as the point guard. 16 points per game. He's averaging over 5 assists, 5.7. He has 3.1 steals per game and only 2.8 turnovers. So he averages more steals and more assists a game than he does turn the ball over. And those are both elite stats to have.
I feel like the girl. Oh my goodness! I thought he was elevating, dude. I mean, the girls' MVP race pretty much locked up. I would say at this point, for YSN MVP. The boys, though,
it's open, dude.
There might be a war in the executive room.
And I mean, if we look at all things like we do here with YSN too, I mean, it's not just that comes down to points per game. I mean, those stats that matter too are those ones too. When you're someone like Jared Cologne too, he could even be like 16 points a game, but you have 5.5 plus assists. Like, you're setting your team up to you yourself make your team better. Like, he's huge for them. I also want to shout out Tayon Harris Jr. too. He's a senior for them, 10.7 points per game, and he's a post presence. He's the tall guy, number 5 for Camel, and he really brings, I think, everything together for what Cologne and Rodriguez bring on the outside. He ties it all together with his rim scoring.
He got his postdoctorate in SWAT earlier in the game. We saw him. Oh boy.
He's been heat checking too. He's knocked a few down from there, Cologne, in that first quarter. I think when you look at this Red Devils team, They play this kind of basketball too, and they get teams to play their style of basketball. They're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out going into tournament time.
Out top in this hounding defense by Camel. Good
But
backside cut.
Oh, nice
because
cut.
teams like Mooney and such are also around there, and other big teams too. Division 5 is a tough one as well this year.
Waste no time getting to the other end. Delone, Alvarez.
Jan's a role player, 22, but he's been all over the place today.
Louisville's keeping it at 10.
Oh
Not for long.
He has 12.
Not when Rodriguez is
you can't. There's no stopping that. Oh boy, come on. Lucido.
I like them working to get the inside bucket. That's exactly what Louisville needs to be doing. Get the fouls and try to slow this tempo down.
You can win this game at the free throw line.
Absolutely. And I think for Tony Matizzi, he knows that. And look at Tony Matizzi too. That's one of my favorite things. He does that, I think, better than almost any other coach in this area too. And that's where I think he's at his best, is when that one-on-one talking with players too and able to kind of connect with them. He does a great job at that.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And he's very concise with it. He's not trying to download too much into the server, so to speak. Like he gives you what you need, and he'll get you next time if he needs to. Oh,
no good. Rebound pulled down.
Okay, so you're Louisville. Slow it down here. Win it at the rack. Attack the rim, like you said earlier.
Look at how the Red Devils try to speed you up, though. They press you. They're trying to trap you in those spots behind the timeline. And once you get across it, they're looking to trap on the sidelines. They're looking to get you in places. They want you to be uncomfortable. That's their goal. They want you to play uncomfortable the whole time.
Dude.
And then when you have times like this where Jared Cologne from in the deep wing, like literally the logo, he's just splashing home. That's what I said. Someone has to be face guarding him. You can't just let him shoot that.
But that'll just open somebody else up. So I think Coach Matizzi's doing the heads up thing here. All right, if you're gonna throw it up from the logo and they're gonna go in, it's your day. It's your day. But you can't face guard and you can't double him.
You got to be pressuring. You got to get the ball out of his hands. Someone else has to be shooting this ball, though. Is what I don't know. It's kind of my mindset, because he is torching their defense right now from distance.
I would say do not let Camel shoot anything in the gray or the red. If they want anything in the natural beach color wood, they can go ahead and shoot it. But anything in that gray or red, we don't want them to touch.
Look at how Louisville, though, worked right back to that free throw line. That's their third trip already in the second quarter, too. And they're doing a great job of stopping that clock, keeping within 10, too. And this is the case, too. And I talk about it during games all the time. The law of averages, too. Highly unlikely a team stays hot shooting for 4 quarters. It is what it is. We see 1 quarter, we see 2 quarters. It's very unlikely we're going to see it.
Just as you say it.
Yeah, I know. But it's a case where you're trying to weather the storm right now and hoping the law of averages kind of falls back into play and Camel kind of comes back down to earth with shooting percentages. But they're at home. It's a day game. Student section is loud and proud today. They're feeling it, man. They want to play for their community.
What a talented group Camel is. I mean, from the coaching staff on down, these kids are believing, and they are hooping, dude. They are hooping.
And Coach Canarino, I think, just does a great job of letting the kids be themselves too. And you talk about how they try to play at almost a street ball pace too, but he lets them play at their fullest extent too, and he lets them be themselves on the court too. And I love that about the Camel Memorial Red Devils too, is they're not afraid to show their character at any given time too. And they are, like you said, they're a very talented group of young men.
I'm hoping nobody does a scroll back in that Sheely's ad when that little girl threw the snowball, because I'm looking at a 32-inch monitor, and it looked like a snowball was coming right at me. So I got
Wade Rodriguez coming alive here in the second quarter.
Let's see what they go with here.
Julius, good cut inside.
There he is too. Deon Harris on that cut.
Up one more time.
So
Good
strong,
RT
man.
on
You had
Harris.
4 guys on him, and he just refused to let that ball be ripped away. That's where if Camel's continuing to do that while also hitting there, I don't know if there is a game plan you can muster up if you're Louisville to try to turn the tides, because if Camel's able to work those buckets down low with Harris and then do that, that's unbelievable, man.
This is incredible.
Jared Cologne is absolutely like, I don't know if there's been a shot that's been on the like arc. Like, he's been at least 4 feet beyond the arc in every shot. He's unbelievable. Him and Sway are taking over.
You're a bucket away from being up 20, and we were just talking about 10.
It happens in a hurry, man. When it's your day, when you're living by the 3, you're thriving.
We'll slow things up here in the half-court set.
I'm interested. Like, this team is so fun to watch.
He's looking to get to his spot again. Look at, he cut through. And I've seen him, too, when he's not having his good shooting days, too. He could turn to that floater on the cut. When you give him a screen, a little bit of space, he doesn't need a ton to pull the trigger on that floater. Jared Cologne, he could get the mid-range game going too, and with that little floater to get you back to feeling some confidence when you need a bucket.
3, no good. Rebound knocked around. Medelsky winds up with it.
There's Drew getting a nice rebound. Lucido.
Lucido's shot attempt, no good. Big board by Medelsky up, no good. Rebound Harris.
Yeah, it's one of those cases. It's one team's night, not the other's, because you have 3 cracks at the hoop there too, and all good looks too. None of them like forced shots, just not falling if you're the Rockets right now.
I always want to ask, some of these guys, especially the big guys that are down low. It's like they anticipate contact, so they go up too strong. You know what I mean? Like, they go up too strong, and you see them like they're almost like anticipating getting fouled, and they've already worked it in their heads that they're going to the line, and they defense goes up, straight up, hands up, and then no foul, and the offense just looks silly.
Yeah, and I can tell you too how many times coaches I hear preaching it. He's doing whatever he wants right now, man.
Dude, he's unconscious.
That was on a moving shot too. He was moving right to the corner. That was catch and shoot, catch, fire, release. Like,
oh, was that Brent? That was Jan.
Yeah, but no, man. When you're talking this Red Devils team, man, they are high flying and they are high scoring.
No, that was Brenner. I want to correct myself. 25 is Brenner, 22 is Jan. Bruce Brenner has been – he is the Louisville Hulk, because Bruce Banner's the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah.
Bruce Brenner is the Louisville Hulk, because he is just Herculean style, like put this team on his back at times during the year. He and Drew Medelsky.
Like I was saying, though, too, with coaches, and you talked about like anticipating content like that too, which we saw too, like leaving your feet. So many coaches root yourself in the ground in the paint, unless it's an elite shot blocker and you know that they can get up and they can do it without fouling too. Like, just keep yourself rooted, get your hands up, and be a blocker in that sense too. Because when you leave your feet, you're at will to your offensive player, and it just gives them such an easy way to draw that foul. Then once you leave your feet,
got the Red Devil mascot in attendance. There he is.
Medelsky gets it to go.
Drew gets the 3 the hard way.
32, 2:17 to go until halftime. Cologne from
my gosh.
Medelsky skies high to get that board.
When you see those, at least if you're Louisville, you take a breath and you're like, okay, he's human. We could get away with some of those, but
the pocket up at the rim. Lambert gets it to go.
His feet were on that volleyball line when he shot that.
He's been right around that territory too with his other ones that he's hit.
Is all about. Brenner for 3 from the corner, no good. Harris with the rebound.
And if you're Louisville,
Harris coast to coast off the glass, too strong.
You just want some of those shots to fall, and you're gonna keep taking those threes too.
A little too aggressive on
Those
that
open
one.
looks if they're going to give them to you,
He'll
but
get his third foul here.
you're,
in the
you're,
first
if you're
half.
Lobo, you want the law of averages to fall in both ways. You want them to start falling in your favor, falling out of Camel's favor a little bit, because I'd like to know what Camel is shooting from outside right now. I'd love to know the shooting percentage, because it's probably silly right now.
I'm wondering. I don't see Pazel in there. Pazel's their outside shot specialist. I mean, you're down 20.
Louisville's did what they needed to do, though, DJ. I mean, they got to the line. What is this, 6 or 7 times, I feel like, now in this quarter? Like, they've worked themselves to the stripe plenty of times, but you need those to fall, though. You got to make them. Can't have empty trips.
Sway Rodriguez chases that loose ball down. Harris tiptoes along the baseline, gets it back.
Wow.
Harris at the rim.
Oh
No
my
good.
gosh. The body
He's
control of
fouled.
Harris,
He'll go
dude.
to the line for 2.
He went up with some vicious intent there. He was ready to destroy that rim, it looked like.
Third foul.
Hey, look, it's our man Gary Leininger. You can see him over there behind.
Hey, there he is.
There's our man, the myth, the legend. Check out our YSN Smug Mug, too. You can catch the photos of this game, too, if you want to purchase any of them after the game. Gary takes some of the best shots, too. He does a great job.
Buddy. Good plug. The chief photographer, Gary Leininger. The thing I like about Smug Mug is you can get it on, print them any size that you want.
Yeah.
You can edit them in the stuff. I mean, great partnership for us.
That's
Oh,
Lambert
boy.
with the triple, no good. It's Koulias with another
Lambert
rebound.
letting it fly.
Koulias splits defenders, looks for Harris along the baseline, taken away.
Okay.
Nice defense by Lobo.
Louisville needs this.
Look ahead to Brenner.
Oh, no.
And we're going to get a held ball, and the Devils
Oh,
will gain the possession.
That's defense, though, for Camel, and they're looking for that ball. They're looking to stop it. They're looking to pressure it immediately. Like, they want to score on you in transition, and they don't want to allow any transition buckets. They want to force you into a half-court offense, and they want to speed you up on the other side.
To Sway Rodriguez. Harris at the elbow. Good dump down to Koulias. Kick out back to Wetzel. And Rodriguez will set it up with 32 seconds to go.
at halftime, we'll go back to your sleepers.
I like how Louisville's trying too. They're kind of
Harris, good pass into Harris.
they're playing above the arc now too, trying to curb some of those threes too. I like the way they set up the defense there. Even if you're given one or two more steps too towards
Brenner down the lane off the glass, no good. Rebound to Harris with 2 seconds. Rodriguez at the horn.
Oh.
Back iron, no good.
If he would have hit that one,
that would have been the cherry on top for sure.
Oh my goodness.
20 points though. I mean, you're still in it if you're Louisville too. You got some work to do in the third quarter. You can't let it fall any further, but you're not technically out of it yet, but you can't have Camel shooting the way they did in that first half. They were knocking everything down from distance.
Not at all. All right, you ready to finish your sleepers from the boys' side?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? And I think fitting enough too. Let's talk about that first team too. Memorial Red Devils. We're talking about 14-3. They're ranked 36th in Division 5 right now, and I know Division 5 has a lot of teams, but I put this in here, DJ, because I felt like it was going to play off perfectly, and it did. They passed the eye test. And for anybody that might disagree now, I think you just got a sneak preview on what this Red Devils team will do. And there's a lot of other teams too, locally even teams in Division 5 that people look at instead of the Red Devils. But I tell you what, you match this Red Devils team up with the likes of your Poland, your South Ranges, your Moonies. Again, I know Mooney had a big win against them earlier, but I think the Red Devils would make it interesting for sure in a tournament atmosphere.
I'm sold, man. I'm sold. Just watching them, I've seen them already. But how they got better as the year has progressed, and that much better. I mean, they look like an elite team on the floor right now, and I don't know what what that means, what that looks like in the tournament. But if they can keep this pace high, nothing surprises me.
I like them a lot too, DJ. Number 4 on our list is the Cardinal Mooney Cardinals, and this is an interesting team because they're 6-9 right now. They're ranked 55th in Division 5. But my reasoning is because they have been there before. Look at Mooney just last year, too. They were just at this level, beyond that level last year, too. And when you look at Mooney as a boys team, only 14 teams ahead of Mooney have had a tougher schedule than the Cardinals. In those 54 teams above them, only 14 of them. So Mooney's battle-tested. They're hardened with the teams that they have to play already in the Steel Valley Conference, which is a great conference again this year with the likes of your Ursulines, your Cheneys, and, of course, East, too. East isn't a pushover either. So, I mean, you got a great schedule there, and Mooney always plays up divisions, plenty of divisions when they go out of their conference, too. So, I think it's another case similar to what we saw with Howland too, where there's nothing that's going to surprise Mooney once we get into a Division 5 tournament. And I'm really interested to see with an expanded division tournament how Mooney would fare in it because they were doing pretty well in 4 divisions.
Yeah, and talking about teams that get better as the year goes on, I mean, that's Mooney's MO. They don't even really start thinking about playing good basketball for one reason or another until after Christmas. So when you think about teams that are battle tested, like you said, that we've seen in the playoffs before, coaches with the experience of taking deep runs into the postseason, you don't have to go very far. Kerry Palermo is that guy. He is him when it comes to coaches that have been there, done that, and bought the T-shirt. So, again, you never want to count Mooney out when it comes to down the stretch or postseason hoops.
Next up on my list, number 3 on our thing is East Liverpool. East Liverpool, currently 12-5. They're ranked 22nd in Division 4. And I consider them a sleeper because in a world in Division 4 where everyone's talking about your Ursulines, everyone's talking about your Canfields, I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on the Potters. And one of my reasons for liking East Liverpool is because they can close out games. East Liverpool has been in 7 4-point contests, decided by 4 points or less this year. They are 4-3 in those 7 games, and they are 2-0 in overtime games this season. They know how to play down the stretch. They know how to play in close games, but most importantly, they know how to win in close games. And you speak on a big Division 4 matchup, they only lost by 4 to Canfield, 83-79 in Canfield earlier this season. I know you're a big fan of the Potters too, but guys like Cohen Pease are the real deal for East Liverpool, and they got a lot more too, like Birch as well. And then you got Atkins, like they got stars up and down that floor.
Well, and that's what separates them. That's why I agree wholeheartedly with you. And I hate agreeing every single pick you make, but Ty, you this is ironclad so far. When you look at the Potters, you look at the Potter Fieldhouse, you look at the heritage, the lineage, the great traditions that they have in the blue and white down in East Liverpool, how much basketball just means to them. And you look at what Cohen Pease has done. Dude puts on 15, 20 pounds of weight and solid muscle just so he can get into the paint, and he's not just classified as a shooter. They've got closers. That's the one thing that you said that at the top of my list, the closers. If this was baseball, the Potters would have the top closer award go to them. It's not baseball, it's basketball, and they got 5 guys that can shoot the ball from anywhere on the floor, and I think you're dead on, man. Don't look at the record when you battle the Potters. Look at the athleticism and look at the excitement that they're building down in East Liverpool.
And with Kirby being out the last few days too, they've dropped 3 of their last 4 games too, including one to their rival Beaver Local. And I feel like it's kind of lost some steam in the Potters engines because I feel like a lot of people were hot to start the year, and I feel like a lot of that has kind of fallen off. But I'm just here to say, I mean, once they get Kirby back, they're at full strength. This is a Potters team that I expect to make a deep run. And I say pair them up with an Ursuline, pair them up with a Canfield, and I'd like to see the Potters take those shot at the 2 teams everyone's talking about in D4 right now.
I'm sure there's teams that are going to cross paths with East Liverpool, and they're sitting there going, I don't think that we want to play them. Yeah. I mean, this might be one of those teams that you look at and you see them in your bracket and you go, maybe we'll go to the other side and play our cards over there.
credit Coach Reynolds too, because he stepped into for a legendary coach and Coach Connolly that did a great job with that program for years. But he has stepped in and he has kept that tradition and that love for the program exactly where it needs to be. And I'm glad that it's not going anywhere. Like you talked about Potter Fieldhouse and just the tradition of basketball down in East Liverpool, and I'm glad that Coach Reynolds is going to uphold that too and keep it alive for seasons to come.
Cade's done a great job. And the one thing, Ty, that I want to point people to is remember what happened to Ohio State when they lost to Michigan. It inspired them. Just remember going back to, a week ago or so when East Liverpool lost to Beaver Local.
First time in 8 years too, I think it was.
I wonder what that's going to do to the psyche of East Liverpool and the seniors. That's how they're going to have to go out. So now they've got to make up for it down the stretch and into the postseason. So again, I would argue that East Liverpool potentially not your biggest sleeper, but one of your most dangerous teams going into this year's postseason.
My number 2 pick then going up is the Cheney Cowboys. 9-6 on the season are the Cowboys. They're ranked 36 in Division III. But this team of Cowboys is iron sharpened. They took Hoban to the absolute wire in Cheney, and Hoban was lucky to escape out of there with a win too. Cheney's the type of team where it does not matter who you are in the state of Ohio, they're going to play you. They don't back down from anyone. They don't shy away from anyone. They'll take their bumps on the chin too, and they're going to get better from it. And Coach McGaha, Coach Andre Brown over there with Cheney, they do a phenomenal job getting the best out of their boys. They're becoming more disciplined as a team because this is an athletic as all heck team in Cheney too. They have athleticism through the roof, and they're becoming more disciplined and better basketball players. And you talk about Austin Brown leading the charge as the point guard too. He does a great job. You have Allen and Alex Hill as a duo tower group that's manning the post. It's a great team up and down over there in Cheney, and I don't want people to have that record fool you, because once we start D3 playoffs, there's nothing that they're going to be surprised about once tournament starts.
If Cheney can stay disciplined, they're going to be a contender. And I truly do believe that. But they've got to stay disciplined. They've got to stay locked in on the floor. And like you said, you nailed it. Leadership is key with Cheney. And to be able to keep everybody rowing in the same direction, that's going to be the challenge. But I think if they're able to do that, Ty, this list, look at those logos. We've seen all four of these teams play, you and I personally. So when you look at what this list should be entitled, I don't think we should be talking about sleepers. These are 4 huge contenders to this point. I'm actually itching to see who number 1 is, because I would put these 4 teams up against anybody, and the 5th team, my goodness, I can't even imagine who that is.
Yeah, I was surprised too, with just like it's one of those cases where records too and where they're ranked in the division, I don't feel like always tells the whole story too. And this is, I think, the best case of this, and I think it also has to do with the conference they play in. My number 1 pick is the Boardman Spartans. They're coming in 9-5 record. DJ, they're ranked 15th in Division II. But because they have teams like Canfield and Warren Harding in their conference, I feel like a lot of people, in a world where you're looking at the Raiders and the Cardinals, I feel like it's a good world to live in to be a Spartan right now, because you are flying under the radar and they're gaining confidence too. Caden Mayhew is a real deal guard too, along with Terrell McDowell. And you talk about guys like Trey Smith that comes off of the bench too and just buries it. Like, this is a Boardman team too that I love that they've gotten that confidence back to. They had a couple down years too, which was unlike them. We've seen them at the top of their game, winning All-American Conference championships. It's a team where I know, like I said, a lot of people are looking at Canfield and Warren Harding right now, but I think that's a perfect spot to be in if you're the Spartans right now. Let them look at the other teams in the conference and fly under the radar. 15th in Division II is still a very impressive ranking.
Yeah, Coach Flores is going to be sitting there loving life right now, flying under the radar, but still playing great basketball. And I agree with you, man. Look at those 5 logos. Like, and you love basketball, and I feel like I'm second fiddle to you, most certainly. But, man, I love watching these teams. And the one thing that stands out on every single one of these logos on their program is athleticism. to be able, and that's not just, hey, these are football players playing basketball. No, these are guys that can play for the entirety of the game if you need them. They will buck the trends, and they can shoot from wherever. Every single one of these teams, you can pick them, and you can say, yeah, every one of the guys can beat you, all 5. And then you go onto the bench, and they've got deep benches. Every single one of these teams have benches that can beat some starting lineups across the network. It's incredible. Well done. Well done for the sleeper picks, my friend.
I just enjoy it, too. I always enjoy looking at basketball in the area. And this tournament, man, I hope we get a lot of people on board, too. And I feel like we've gained a lot of traction, too, and people just watching and supporting basketball. We have a lot of great basketball in this area, man. And I'm ready for it to be on full display come tournament time. And I think some of our teams are going to surprise some of these the teams from your Clevelands and your Stark County areas for sure.
I feel like when you say Cleveland and Stark County, the ghost of Sam Torres is going to appear. We're going to have another one of those debates.
Yeah, the Sam Torres special too. Now we gave some love to the Ashtabula County too. I wanted to make sure we had a full broad spectrum too of all teams and that's what I've really tried to pay attention to, especially like our Pennsylvania teams. Beaver, both boys and girls basketball, man. They play some really good basketball too. And if you watch the network too, give them a watch sometime, man. They're a fun brand of basketball to watch too over there in the Keystone State. And I can't wait until we continue to expand over there in Western Pennsylvania and get some more teams under our network.
Well, it's funny. Like people are constantly asking why we don't have more Pennsylvania teams, why it's been such a slow grow in the Keystone State. And quite frankly, it has nothing to do with the regular season, but the postseasons. Yeah. It's been challenging because they don't lower their prices. It's still like $400, $500 a game in the postseason to do, and that's every round. And then it goes up from there. So we're not in the business of going bankrupt. We want to make sure that
we're not there financially just yet to be able to shell it out.
If we ever get there, we're doing all right.
Yeah, we're
all right. So you're down 19 right now, Ty, and you're sitting there, Coach Matizzi. If you were one of his star pupils on the bench, what are you telling head ball coach to exhibit here in the second half?
I feel like it comes down to if we want to win this game, we're going to have to get this thing as close to 10 before the end of this third quarter right now. And we're going to have to do it by making them take tough shots like that too. Like you're going to just have to hustle harder too. Like you said, if we're going to play this game plan of, all right, we aren't going to let them shoot anything in the paint. The gray and the red area is completely restricted for us. You need to be able to close out though on the arc, and you need to just hustle to get a hand in the face, something. You got to make them take tough shots too, and don't let them speed you up. That's my biggest thing too, because I feel like that first half, Louisville was getting sped up beyond their type of style of play and what the kind of game plan they had designed to. You can't play into Camel's style of play too. They can beat you. They can beat most teams if you fall into their style.
Yeah. First off, I need to buy a hot tub.
Yeah, I would love to have one too, dude. When we were having those negative 4-degree days, I'd be in bliss then.
I can see my grass now. That's good. It's rainy. This is the worst weather for me. I hate this weather outside right now. Like it's just
the rain and you got
dark, gloomy, it's slushy. Now all the snow, and then I get it. People don't like snow, but you know what I hate? Gray snow. Gray snow is the worst.
Yeah, the gray and the dirty snow. Yeah, that is the worst.
Oh, here we go, Brenner.
Tournament time coming up, man. We know March is around the corner. Some of the best time when we're into the district and regional round of basketball, softball, baseball season's just around the corner too. That's great. That's great transition by Sway. And every time they try to chip in, it feels like Camel just has that response ready.
Dude, Memorial is just it's like watching 2K. That's what it is.
I feel like everybody on the Scarlet side, when they realized that Camel Memorial boys basketball was moving from the gray to the Scarlet division in the MVAC, I think everyone took notice. And seeing what they did on the gray side too, and the competition over there, like.
Alone from beyond the arc one more time.
My boy. Oh my boy.
You know what I said earlier too about what it's like? You don't usually see teams shoot lights out from the arc for longer than a half. Very rarely you see it for 4 quarters. Well, they're working on 3 right now. If they keep up their pace, they had 52 at half. They're looking for a 100-point game here.
Yeah, this is what I call the Jenga stage. Because Louisville's got to be very careful what piece they pull right now because they're about ready to let it fall. I mean, if Camel's able to score here, and especially if they get a 3 ball that's ridiculous like we've seen already, dude, the spirits of Louisville will fall and shatter. And I don't blame them because, if this was a game of 2K, I'm already resetting the game. I'm back.
You've turned it off.
We're playing something else. We're playing Battlefront or Call of Duty or something. Not my day on 2K.
Miscommunication.
That was just standard miscommunication. But another thing too for Louisville, like you gotta grab the defensive boards. Camel cannot have second looks or second cracks at the bucket right now. That's the biggest problem I've been seeing with them too, is that Camel's getting a lot of offensive boards, second shot opportunities too. You got to stop those shot attempts at 1 if you're Louisville right now.
All right, I'll give you double to none odds that 2-to-1 odds, I should say, that Gary Leininger is not there anymore.
He's the 1/2 wonder. That's Gary Leininger
for that young man's career.
What do we have here?
1,000.
Special day here.
No, 1,000. Look at that. Congratulations to Sway Rodriguez. 1,000-point score. Couldn't happen to a better young man, though, DJ. Like, I've gotten a chance to talk with Sway, too, and just the family he comes from, too. The community he comes from, like, such a respectful young man, too. Played in our All-Star game last year.
Young man.
He represents the Camel community extraordinarily well, too. And that's a student athlete, a great senior, too, that a lot of those younger guys can look up to, and how he composes himself on and off the court, too. He really is a stand-up young man.
That a baby Sway. Congratulations. 1,000 hard ones for Sway Rodriguez. People don't realize how challenging it is to accomplish that feat.
62-38 Devils.
Got to be playing. You got to at least be starting at 4 years, at least maybe 3 if you're elite too. If you could start your sophomore season with a bang too, you could do it in 3.
Swing pass along the
like that's like the guys that get to the 1,500, 2,000 point mark too. Like guys like Ryan Romai, we just saw he just crossed over 1,200. He probably hit 1,400 career points by the end of it. Like that's also impressive too. Just it is so hard to find consistency in this sport too. And I got a chance to talk with girls basketball coach for Garrettsville Garfield the other day, Aaron Gilbert, just about it too, and just about participation numbers and how we see the ebbs and flows of it throughout the sport too. It's a hardworking sport, man. It's one of those you got to be practicing every single day too. You got to be putting the work in. Can't really have off days in basketball if you want to see improvement in it.
Too strong. And out of bounds to the Devils.
What if you ended up with 998 or 999 in your career? How pissed would you be?
Is that like the that one baseball movie where the guy has to come out of retirement to get his
Mr. 3000, Bernie Mac, God rest his soul.
Yeah, come out of retirement. It's like a 38-year-old that has to come back to school to get his two points too. They bring him in off the bench senior year. You just found yourself another Disney movie, DJ.
Oh, that's it.
You just created the plot.
For 3, good.
This guy is unbelievable.
He might have another 1,000 tonight.
He's gonna go for 2,000 in the game.
Rodriguez.
How many points did Sig say? Yeah, did he have the number?
I wish he could hear us because it'd be cool to be able to commentate with him.
Yeah, Sig, how many points they got? Cologne and Sway have to be in the 20s apiece, I would think.
Lob,
I mean, I've seen at least
Cologne,
4 threes from them.
Oh
my goodness! Oh my goodness! Go home! Turn the TV off! Turn the TV off!
Makes it a 27-point
Throw
game.
in the towel. That's
This
it.
place is electric.
This
He said, got my foot up on the gas. Hey, somebody got to do it.
Michalski chases it down. And the only thing that's going to calm this student section down right now.
Oh my
is a personal
goodness.
Oh my gosh. The Devil Dome is on fire right now.
Rob Johnson in
foul. What a scene here.
in fitting fashion. The
That's
damn from
Sullivan down
Rob
the
Johnson.
corner, and he connects.
Oh wow.
That was unbelievable.
You can hear
Spoiler
the
alert,
buzz.
folks. That's probably going to be on our
Foul
top
the
10.
floor by Brenner.
Yeah.
The basket's
We're going to have to
count.
pair it with like Sway's 1000 so we don't split up the Camel
Go ahead and
votes.
replace
Just call it like
by
Camel's
Esposito.
career night. Like just like career
Split them
night.
up.
for-
I want to. I
right
mean,
now.
split
Get
them
'em.
up.
Get them all on there. Jeez, oh
Like,
man, that
oh
was
my
insanity.
Oh, I thought he was gonna get that to
Lambert
drop.
there on the backside. Harris.
They're getting every
back to Cologne
offensive
for
board
three.
though. Like that's the
Good.
problem. You can't give up on the boards though.
Jared
Like there's
Cologne unconscious today.
Dude,
with
you're gonna see Cologne shoot it from the volleyball line again. I'll
Sullivan
guarantee it.
Tries to answer on the other end. No good.
this is
Rebound
a
on
real
the
deal
floor for
rivalry
Hustle by
too.
Logan.
Like this is still like a pretty big rivalry
Long for
between
two,
these
no
two
good.
schools.
He
So
gets his own board.
they remember football
Finds Sullivan
season.
along the
They remember
baseline with the
Lovo
runner up
getting
and
that
in.
that sneak by win in football season. A lot of the same athletes, very similar athletes from football season play basketball too.
Malone for
This was
three.
personal for
Why
Red
not?
Devils. Jared Cologne took it very
Jared
personally,
Cologne.
apparently. Too. He's
Unbelievable.
putting on a show.
Sigler's having fun. I love that. Oh,
Sullivan at the rim with the runner. No good. There's Medelski with the putback.
Sig's been out there too. Sig's been in Ursuline. Sig's been in East Liverpool. He's been another guy that's been
Cologne from
floating
lefty
around
on the arc.
basketball wise.
And are you kidding me?
This is unbelievable,
This
DJ.
young man is in some kind of zone today. Jared Cologne, 37.
37 points.
He has
Oh,
37
my
points
God.
and maybe almost all of them from 3-point range.
Do it again.
He
Cologne thinks about it. Finds Rodriguez. Back
He's
to
like
Cologne.
Steph right now,
From
man.
the
He's like
horn.
Steph-esque right
Cologne.
now. He's looking to pull that trigger.
He wants that logo.
Wilrich all alone off the window for two.
He wants that logo.
DJ, we might have to have 2 Red Devils in the 3-point shooting contest.
Lambert for three. No good.
How do you
Well,
not
here's-
have
Sullivan on
those?
the backside,
Dude, here's
throws
the
it off the
invitation to
defender,
Cologne
and
right
no
now
gain
for the
possession.
3-point contest.
Like, he
It's
has to.
legit. It's legit. He's in. Obviously, we're gonna get Sway in the All-Star game. Yeah,
And
I'm
Jared
in on
Cologne
it.
with his last 3-point field goal has broken the record here at Campbell. He has
It's-
11 3-pointers.
11 3-pointers, DJ.
We've seen that already.
I don't think
Remember
Malone
that
in the
I saw
the
Abby
series in the
Major
zone
hit
twice
11, I think, with
describes it.
Waterloo a couple years ago.
Nate
I think it
Birch
was-
hit it this year with
Yeah,
Liverpool.
2 miles
So if Cologne hits
today
12,
in
he's
front
got
of
the
his
all,
new
he's got
body.
the record this year.
That was Wetzel from the corner for 3. Ball knocked out of bounds. and the
Jared
ball-
Cologne's about to go
14
to Stacy
possession.
Seepin, the athletic director there at Campbell, and be like, "Can we get every game at noon for for the rest
Yeah.
of the season?
What are you
I'm
guys
in a
doing at
zone right now."
noon?
He's like, "Hit me up on these games before lunchtime if I can, right before I have to eat. Like I'm feeling it
He's
right
wide
now."
open right
For
now.
Lowville.
There he goes.
That shot attempt is short. Medelski
37
Up
points on
around the
11
Rockets'
3-pointers. That is insanity right now for
2
him.
seconds to go.
Look at all the students. Look at all of them for Camel. Look at not a single one has left their feet. They've been standing.
Has it knocked
I
around
think this
beyond some
entire
play.
second
Look
half.
ahead to Sullivan. Sullivan, extra pass.
Give
Hey,
credit to the
Lucino.
discipline of Louisville, man, because I'd be chucking it up from 3, just trying to match him right now.
Sway Rodriguez with the dribble drive up for 2.
They have definitely made it an effort, though. Every time Cologne touches the ball from the
Oh, boy.
perimeter, they are
Oh
doubling.
my goodness!
That ball's thrown away.
That got
Devils are gonna
swatted
get
to
another possession here with
Struthers.
18.8 seconds.
Who was
Rodriguez
that?
Knacking it.
Pavelski?
for today.
I
Yeah.
think it might have been.
Madelski
That alley oop
says
was
nah.
insane. Like Campbell, though, is coming up with some great highlights. You have
No hold
you have a
for the last
1,000-point
shot.
scorer in Sway, a broken record for 3-pointers by Jared
Jared
Cologne.
Cologne
He
with
nailed
10.
11 plus, and then
Look for the ball screen.
And then on
Cologne
top
on
of
the
that,
screen,
too,
back to Rodriguez. His shot
you
attempt
got
no
these.
good.
You
Cologne
got
is there, has it
what was
knocked
it,
around.
Lambert? I think it was who
Finds
had the
Rodriguez.
slam down
Not
alley
in
oop.
time. And after 3,
They're going for
Wow.
100. I told you they had 52 at half. They've matched it. They had
After the
another
fourth,
25
after
plus point quarter.
YSN.
They're looking for 100 tonight.
What?
Today, I should say.
Oh my gosh. How incredible has this been? I mean, you and I couldn't ask for a better game to do the your cast for. Hey, it's
They've,
Ryan Miller.
Yeah, there he is. Hometown Insurance Solutions.
And WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS has been a partner with us for quite some time now, too. Always love our friends over there at WRS.
Love them. And then, of course, you got Youngstown State University, which is probably loving life right now, advertising to all these high school students and potential parents of college students.
Sophie Gregory turned out pretty well for Youngstown State coming from Beloit.
There's been an incredible amount of local athletes that have made their names well known at the next level.
We've seen a
at Youngstown State.
A lot that have gone to other colleges and have migrated back to Youngstown State. So that's also, I think, a credit to them, too, for just that pool and just having that pool, too, even after the commitments happen, too, and having that kind of transfer window open.
Hey, shout out to Gino Perry, by the way, who is going to be signing to go to Westminster, the pride of Louisville High School, is going to be joining the blue and white of the Titans.
Hats off to this administration from
Pretty cool. You got to go back to and have that opportunity to talk with some students. That had to feel like a full circle moment for you.
That was cool, man. I mean, it was that was a while ago. I found that clip just hanging out on the computer. I was like, well, I never use this. I'll throw that up. But that was pure emotion. That was raw emotion. I to go back, to your college, and I've been very fortunate this basketball season to be able to go back to my high school and do a lot of the games for East Palestine, and it's so cool to be able to represent your alma mater at the next level, and to know that there's a pride, as much pride in you graduating from there as you being a graduate. So
I love Coach Tristan Reynolds too, and what he's done with that boys basketball. He just continues to level them up. It seems like too. He's got the passion for the program, and that's the first step you need in trying to build it.
It's funny, like there's a bunch of coaches now that they're about my age, that I've known them before they were coaches. They were either adversaries, they were teammates, they were, we played against each other, or, we've just been around in circles. Craig Hannon, the Girard coach, one of those guys, we went to school together at Westminster. He's going to join us next week, so that'll be good. But yeah, I've known Tristan a long time. Tristan and I have gone rounds with each other, against each other, almost toe to toe. And he's one of the best to do it, man. Any program that has Tristan Reynolds is a program that is very fortunate.
Step along the baseline to the corner. Wetzel runs out of real estate. Back to Rodriguez.
They're always looking for three.
Give it to him. He's in the corner.
Alone. Off the window. Too strong. Tavarnik is there, and he'll go to the line for two.
Hamill's just doing whatever they want. They're playing 2K on rookie mode right now. That's what it feels like. They're getting what they want. They're getting all the offensive boards, all the looks.
Man.
Jake Tavarnik.
You don't want to say that Lowville's spirits are completely broken too, but it's hard to just keep punching up and you just get nowhere with it. Like you feel like you're doing the right things, and they were. I mean, Lowville came out with a great game plan in that second quarter, getting to the foul line, but it's
like
just
fighting Floyd Mayweather, dude.
Good board by Harris off the miss.
Gosh.
Like they're getting everything they want. It does. He missed both free throws, and Harris gets you two anyways. They're getting whatever they want. You got to grab those rebounds.
Cologne comes away with it. Cologne at the window. Why not?
Oh my
Gets it
gosh.
to go. Hoop in the harm. He's going to go to the line for the and one.
He's looking for 40 then. A 40 burger here. You're getting a 40-point performance on ysnlive.com, and it's not even 2 o'clock yet.
How does this set the
Take away the basket.
How does this set the stage for tonight?
I mean, geez, we've had
Oh my gosh.
We've had 1,000-point scorer, a record breaker, an alley-oop dunk, and an almost 40-point performance, 39-point performance right now.
They ended up taking that bucket away from Cologne. They said it was on the floor.
Oh, did they? Siggy's got it. Or no, it is right. That
first attempt by Tavarnik, no good.
Is it just me, or does anybody else want to see Cologne hit one more three?
I need to see him hit 12, yeah.
We want a dirty dozen. A devil dozen.
Second attempt finds the bottom.
Look at how excited the student section is for a free throw, DJ. They love it.
Dude, this is so cool.
This is exactly what Camel needs, too, because they've already gotten the hearts of, like, the high school students, too, but getting those middle school age students, too, this is exactly what you want, man. Every young kid that's in attendance right now, anybody that's in middle school, anyone watching this game right now, someone just fell in love with basketball watching this too. And someone said, I want to be on that court in a few years from now too. I want to be doing this type of stuff too. Like
away off the glass, too strong.
If you don't walk away from this game
quickly the other way
and say, I want to do this more.
Left all alone in the corner.
Give him 12. Come on.
Give it to him again.
And they're going to
if you don't walk away from this game as an administrator watching this game and say, we need to do this, then you're missing the point. You said it best, Ty, to get your community, your district fired up so that way maybe they don't become basketball players, but they get engaged in the game of basketball. They loved the way they felt at the game, the excitement that the dopamine hits that it gives you during the game. Like, this needs to be an every week thing at a school. It doesn't have to be the same school, but like, I think I will personally get involved with whatever school or any school that wants to do it. And we can moniker this, we can market this, we can do it so it's the YSN day game.
And it works for some communities where they can't see. So for the people that can't see the games that are starting at night too, like that time does work. That might be the one game a father that works overnights or whatever can see their kid play in an actual game. So I mean, I like the opportunities for the kids too, but my biggest thing, man, is it's the engagement. And with coaches I talk to, that's the biggest thing. There's so many extracurriculars in schools that pull kids different directions, and credit that. I love the fact that kids have options, but you don't even have kids that get into the door that realize they like basketball this way, where you kind of just get them in the door. And I feel like all it takes is one performance like this, one game like this, and then they're hooked for the team for the season at the very least, maybe hooked on the community for life. But you just sometimes need to get them in the door and just get them to experience it once and see if they like it. And I think that's some of the battle you come into sometimes, is just not necessarily that there's too many options, because there are a lot of options for kids in extracurriculars, but you just need to get them in the door and get them exposed to the basketball too. And even if they're not playing, like you said, DJ, just being engaged with the teams.
Second attempt, in and out.
Here's what I'll tell you about stuff like this. When we were in fourth grade, getting ready to graduate to the fifth grade, right? It was a scenario where the band came in, and you don't get to join band until fifth grade. They came in, they did a whole they brought in everybody from fourth grade, everybody from third grade, and they did this, I don't know, like a showcase kind of deal. That was what got East Palestine band for the longest time to where it was being the best band in the area, because you wanted to be part of that. You wanted to be proud of being in band. And as crazy as that sounds, as someone who cares so much about sports, like I was in band the 5th and 6th grade, and I was like, dude, this is it. Yeah, that heroic sense of belonging we're always talking about, like that's where it came from. And then stuff like this. This is a easily marketed game, and especially if you can make it a double dip like they did today. You know, you start
Absolutely
at 10 a.m. I mean, parents will take this off and be like, hey, listen, I got to take off work today because my kid's playing basketball. And it's a Friday, makes it a nice 3-day weekend for you. And you get to watch your kid play basketball. You got the rest of the day. Maybe take them out to dinner tonight.
Well, exactly. You get to have the night now. You could go to a movie. You could actually have like a family night now, too, after seeing your kid play. And for coaches, too, I think it comes down to, like you mentioned with the band, and it goes with all I think, activities and in sports especially. But with basketball, because they're having some trouble with numbers, especially in the girls' side too, not as much in the boys' side. But you got to get these kids at young ages, man. It starts at the youth level. And I mean, what do I know, right? But I talk to a lot of coaches too, and a lot of coaches talk about just their involvement with the youth level. And my advice to any new coach that goes to take on a basketball team, if you're not ready to get your hands dirty and start digging into the youth to try to turn a program around and start at those levels too, you're going to be surprised by how quickly the well dries up too. It's all about just developing that next level too, and getting kids involved and excited about the sport at a young age that keeps that in the high school years.
And I don't know if you've seen it yet, Ty. I discovered it late last night. But there's almost an initiative around Struthers right now around one young man, I believe, that had trouble going to school, like was really frustrated, you know, especially after break. I don't want to get too far into it because we do want to do a story on it. We do want to dive into it a little bit more, but the synopsis is essentially, he didn't want to go to school. He was having frustrations about going to school, anxiety, whatever it may have been. The entire Struthers football team did a campaign to get him to go to school. You know, come to the weight. You know, if you want to come to the weight room, if you want to be a wildcat, you got to come to school. And I don't think people realize how influential these high schoolers are to the younger kids. Having a first grader myself, anything that any of these high schoolers would say to my son, he would absolutely cherish it for the rest of his life. And that's what we're trying to build here at YSN and allow these high schoolers to understand how much of a hero they are. Boys, girls, otherwise. They are heroes to this younger generation. You're seeing it. Like, this is a perfect embodiment of it right now. Look at the bottom of the screen, right between us, Ty. Over a free throw, they went bananas because they love their classmates. They love the people that are in their community. And I'll tell you what, I'm so freaking proud of Struthers for what they did and to help one young person in their community go to school, because you know that, you know, grades and going to school can change your life in so many different ways. To use that influence for good, that's what it's about. That's leadership 101.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. And we talked about it too with the Ursuline football team too, and just like their good deeds too. But yeah, these student athletes do have some pull and some influence, like you said too, especially with their communities, and with these middle schoolers. Absolutely. And especially with things like YSN. I mean, you and I both know there are kids that watch. Like my daughter too. She's at home watching. She was watching Cindy Watts for the last couple of years too, and fell in love with softball through that too. Like, I mean, it gives an outlet for these youngsters to still watch and still support their favorite athletes that they can meet and they can go and play some catch with or play some shoot around with. And I think that's what it comes down to. And I think the best of the best coaches know that too, and they really do kind of push to get their student athletes involved with the younger players and the younger kids too, in the youth levels of the teams.
That's the goal, though, right? Yeah. You know, like, look at this.
They're going for 100. I want to see them hit it. I don't think we've seen 100. One of our teams score 100 in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I mean, but Camel can fill it up, dude. But
They can. They don't have any other starters in, too, folks. Like, this isn't them. They're just playing. They're playing the game at the level they know how with a lot of their reserves in right now. I don't see a single Camel starter in there right now. So,
but this is. I mean, why wouldn't you want to score 100 for the people?
Yeah.
I mean, this is your hometown. They're not trying to rub it in. They're playing basketball. This is what you want to do.
And I think once you pull the starters too, I feel like that argument goes out the window. Once you put the bench in, and the bench, you can't tell the bench take the foot off the gas. No, you got to go out there and play the basketball that we teach you how we want you to play.
By Camel.
Coach Will Rutledge, watch the student section when they hit the 100.
And you can feel it, right? We're talking about it, but in that gym, I think everybody's got the same mindset. They want to see triple digits on that board. When they hit 100, if they hit 100, we're going to just kind of let it happen, let it breathe, as they say in the business. Mm-hmm. Let Siggy have his moment.
The technical foul.
That student section is unbelievable right now.
I love the kid with the towel.
I can read the official's lips there. Medelsky.
You think these kids that are all in attendance are fans for the rest of the season? You think they're there for the tournament games and they're there for the rest of the ride through for?
Listen, man, I don't want to sound like a front runner, but if I had a Memorial shirt, I'd be rocking it right now because this team is fun to watch. Like, I might be one of the bigger fans of Jared Cologne moving forward. I can't wait to meet the kid, and I feel like I've met him already. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of all these kids, and that's what's exciting for me is to be fans of kids that we actually get to go meet. Like, great that you can be a fan of Myles Garrett or Russell Wilson or Mike Trout, whoever, Aaron Judge, but like these are kids that I can't wait to see grow up and be able to tell people that they made such an impact in our area, even if it's just for this game. You know what I mean? One game that you and I will talk about forever and be like, hey, remember when we covered that game for Camel and Louisville at noon?
Yeah, I mean, for this first tile of cast, too, this isn't a bad game to have, too. Camel definitely brought out the show. They should have time to hit 100, I would think.
Sarganopoulos.
Get 3 right here.
Oh!
They're one away, baby.
The threes have been raining down today.
All right, they get 100. We're shutting her.
98-67.
They've had to have hit 20 or so threes today, DJ. If Cologne has 11 himself, like I've seen Sway hit 4 or 5.
Folks, if Camel gets to the century mark, this place is going to explode. Kuhn. Step back 3. No good. Rebound on the backside by Boudreaux.
Who's getting it? Who's getting the hundo?
Get a possession. Sarganopoulos at the rim. No good. Gets his own board up. There it is. Deafening here at Camel.
I love it.
25 seconds to go.
I love it, man.
They hit it with 25 seconds to go. They hit the century mark.
The bench was jamming. What a wagon.
You couldn't script this any better today. Students in the house.
Great job, Siggy, too, on the call.
Eclipsed.
Props to you.
3-point record eclipsed. And the Devils hit the century mark. These students have seen his show today.
All right, now you can put it in the holster. Yeah, there you go.
And the Devils.
A hundo.
On to win. Over Louisville, 100-67.
100.
They remain unbeaten.
Yeah, man.
In the NBA.
You deserve to be excited if you're Camel right now.
With win number 15 on the season.
Even Louisville. I mean, you think about what
at Camel.
What this kind of game does for Louisville.
Their show on the road to Jackson Milton on Tuesday. Louisville 5-12 now on the season as they head to Western Reserve on Tuesday. That's going to do it from Camel today. What
That
a
student
day
section is ready
what a
to
day for
just
the
embrace
administration.
those Red
Great
Devils.
job to everybody.
That Rockin' Red Devils team,
Devils come
man, they
away
put on a rock
victorious,
concert
100 to
today
67.
for the Red Devil
For
faithful.
DJ Yoakley, Brian Scott, everybody at YSN. This is Chris Sigler.
I thought he was
saying
shouting me
so
out right
long,
there.
And have a great day.
You know, if you're a sub in that game, you're shooting everything you see. Oh man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. All right, well, I guess we got to shut that thing down now. So
No, I mean I enjoyed that, man, and I mean for future games too, I'd love to be a part of it sometime too. If we do this again too, that's a fun little thing to take part in.
yeah, this was cool, man. This was definitely enjoyable. I appreciate. Did I mess that up? Where we go? Let's do this one. There we go. I appreciate you stopping by for this. I mean, this is the kind of a last second thing. I wasn't necessarily sure how to do this from a standpoint of how not to take people away from the game. And I think this was a perfect kind of compromise.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. And please too, like Siggy calls a great game too. If you want you could go and listen to that broadcast right now. It'll still be up there too under our page too, under the live games. It'll be there for the rest of the day. Give a listen to Siggy's call too, because I mean he's got some great calls that he was getting electrified for. It was fun though, man. I always just love shooting the breeze about some basketball too. You know that.
Can you
Nooners?
Afternoon delight. No, this was very enjoyable. I hope you guys enjoyed it out there. And naturally, there's a ton of games tonight. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can get to you these games tonight. We can talk about them real quick before they end up on. Give you a little sneak peek for being a fan here. Sigler, of course, had the 12 o'clock game. We've got the Academy Urban Scholars at Heartland Christian tonight. Mark Franken will have that game for us. Ty, you have Garfield at Newton Falls. Remember the past night. That game's at 7 p.m. tonight. Geneva at Jefferson. Scott has that game. I have Hubbard at South Range alongside Tom Titus. Joe Cibio has Lisbon at Columbiana. Oh, boy. It's the Brother Bowl going on in Clipperville tonight. You got Larry Jennings at Edgewood against Madison, who may or may not be conversing about YSN at the moment.
I
Marlington,
talked with Madison too when they played Howland too. They love what we're doing, man. I hope. Come on, Blue Streaks.
You must be the guy. You must be the guy. We've got Marlington at Salem. Derek Rhodes has the coverage for us. Rob Johnson, the one and only Louisville, taking on Richmond Heights. That is tonight at 7 p.m. Sebring at Springfield. Noah Doty has the call from Tigertown. Southern Local in Wellsville, Gary Altizer, the mayor, has that call. Noah Ricks will have the call for Thomas W. Harvey taking on Orange over in Pepper Pike. United at Leetonio. Don Pearson has the coverage for us tonight. Tim Figley has the Bulldogs taking on Valley Christian tonight, 7 p.m. in Bulldog Country. Western Reserve at McDonald. You can watch that game other places, but I'll tell you what, DK Kotzel, we got it better. Right here on YSN, 7 p.m. Bristol at St. John. Sam Torres has that game, a girls' game. Already happened, 10 a.m. Chris Sigler had it. That is your coverage for today. And if, as always, you can go to ysnlive.com/live for a complete listing of those coverages. If it's not already up, it will be up shortly. And, of course, we're always missing one game, or we have been missing one game because one guy is out. And want to once again reiterate, Anthony, we miss you. We hope you're healing up, you're doing well, and you can get out there soon once again and keep the numbers high and the people happy here on your sports network. Ty, final thoughts?
Nah, man, it was great. I enjoyed this whole style of broadcast too, and being able to just kind of kick back and watch a game too, instead of kind of being a part of being the storytelling too. Kind of just have the story be told to me and just react to some high school basketball. I haven't had many chances to just do that in a while, so I enjoyed it.
No, I think it was fun because you and I we've seen basketball games, we've watched sporting events with each other off the mic, and this was kind of that scenario. We did well of not swearing, so I'm happy about that.
We didn't pick apart anything. I don't think too bad too, and I mean it's all in good fun too. And these are high school athletes, and I mean that's the thing. You're always looking to get better too on both sides, Lowville and Campbell. And I mean it's always easier to see too when we're looking through the big cam too, and we're seeing everything on the floor too, and we're not down in it. So please too, folks. The criticisms aren't that harsh either. We're having fun, poking fun at the game too, and talking about the kids and the coaches that we love.
No, it was fun. Thank you to Lowville. Thank you to Camel. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you after the weekend here, but you can always see us at ysnlive.com. For Ty, I'm DJ. We'll see you on Monday right here on YSN. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of your sports network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.